You are listening to Productivity Straight Talk with your host, Amber De La Garza. Amber is a sought-after productivity coach, trainer, speaker, and writer who gives entrepreneurs the straight talk on personal productivity. No BS, fluff, or overused jargon. Just actionable strategies to get results and succeed in business. And here is your host, Amber De La Garza, the Productivity Specialist.
Welcome, and thank you for listening to Productivity Straight Talk. Today is episode 190, Taking on Templates. Get it right and get more done. If you're a business owner who wants to improve your time management and elevate your productivity so you can maximize profits, reduce stress, and make time for what matters most, then you're in the right place, and I'm so glad you've joined me. Today, we're going to dive into the topic of templates, and I'm going to cover with you why to use them, what they are, and then how to use them and some of my very best tips, as well as sharing a very specific resource that is in 100% alignment with today's episode. And you'll be able to get your hands on that at the end of this episode, so stay tuned. I have really looked forward to bringing this episode to you because I know how incredibly valuable using templates are. And I also know that so many of you are not using them. And I know that because I have these types of conversations with my clients all the time, whether it's my one-on-one coaching clients or clients inside Leverage Lab. And this is a phenomenal way to reclaim time, create consistency in your business, and do the thinking up front so that you don't need to be drained day to day. Now, I'm going to dive into those areas more specifically in the episode, but this is a do not miss episode because I guarantee you are going to be as excited about creating and using templates as I am when you're done with this episode. And now, let's get to the straight talk. All right, that was a big promise to say you'd be as excited about templates as I am, but here's the deal. The actual writing of the templates, nope, not that exciting. Creating them, thinking about them, not too exciting. But like all good things, we need to think about this with the end in mind. And that is the numerous amount of benefits you and your business will receive by utilizing templates. So number one, probably the most obvious, but worth starting with and saying, is that it saves you time. It's going to save you a lot of time to start any correspondence or project with a template. Here's the benefit of the saving time that I don't think is talked about enough, and it's the fact that you don't need to think and rethink about what it is you want to say. Have you ever responded to a client and you're like, surely I've responded to this question or this inquiry before? Or maybe you're onboarding a client and you rewrite the same email over and over in different ways. But when you start from scratch, you're utilizing the mental bandwidth to ask yourself, what is it that I want to say? What is all that needs to be included? And you don't have to do that. In fact, I want you to ask yourself that question only once. What is everything that I want to say? What is the best way of saying it? And when you have a templated email, you're surely able to catch any grammar errors, spelling errors, and all of that is happening every time you write an email from scratch. So this is incredible amounts of time saving. And another benefit of working with a template is that when you don't have the time and you have to send an email or a proposal or a contract or something to a client, if you're squeezed on time, my guess is you're going to do the bare minimum to get that email to the client, for example. And when we ask ourselves, what is the level of experience and customer service we want to give to our clients, it would be to fully detail out everything it is that we want to say. And in many of our businesses, the same processes are happening over and over. The same conversations are happening over and over. And when we don't work from a template, we're now changing the experience that each client has with us based on if we have time to thoroughly write out the email or if we are just rushing it out to hit a deadline. So This benefit is that you can increase the level of customer service that your clients have and experience with you. It also reduces the errors, right? So if I'm quick to send an email out, I'm less likely to catch grammar errors or spelling errors. When you're working from a template, you can really take the time or have someone on your team take the time to really make sure that it is correct and without errors. It also allows you to organize your thoughts and organize information without leaving important details out. When I think of when I onboard a client and I send the email next steps, I don't want to have to keep thinking about what's everything that I want to tell them. This has been thought out once and organized in a way that my clients can easily understand. Also, by starting with a template, whatever this is, where I'm going to give you so many examples, it's going to blow your mind all the ways you can use templates. But in this example, when you start with a template, it's version 1.0. And when you have version 1.0, it's so much easier to see it and improve upon it or to edit it in the future. When you send an email out and you're like, that wasn't exactly what I wanted to say, if you're not working from a template, there's no way to edit that. You're left with thinking, I got to remember to include that paragraph or that section next time. Or maybe it's a proposal. You send a proposal to a client, and when it's all said and done, you're like, I wish I had that in the proposal. If you're not starting with a template, there's nowhere to go back to edit and to capture that thought for improvement. And then next is that you can have consistency in the delivery, right? So when you are in a process with a client, for example, I'm going to continue this example. If you're starting with a template, it's consistency in that you can get it out the door. You can get it in their inbox quicker and faster. So that consistency isn't rested upon, did you have time after the call to write the email from scratch? Did you have time after the discovery or consultation session to do a proposal from scratch? And the answer is, you're probably squeezed for time most of the time as a busy business owner. So you want to be able to consistently deliver in a timely manner, and templates solves all of that. And lastly, top of mind of some of the benefits templates are so powerful is that it makes it so much easier to delegate. Now, in the examples that I've given you so far, let's take a proposal or a onboarding email for a client. If I, the business owner, think about everything that I want in a proposal or an onboarding email for a new client, then I'm able to delegate out to someone on my team to edit that email and get it out. And knowing that the tone is the tone that I want, that the information is what I want, the experience my client will have when they receive the proposal or email is exactly what I want. And I don't even need to be the one that sends the email or edits the proposal and sends it out, because I've already put my stamp of approval on. These are the guidelines. This is the template we start with for consistency in delivery to our clients. When I did this intro for this episode, I told you that I have this conversation often with clients about utilizing templates because I believe that it's often an overlooked efficiency strategy that is so simple that it gets overlooked because we can't really see that the wins are big enough. And let me give you an example. If by using a template in your business or multiple templates in your business, and you could save just 15 minutes a day, now think about it. When was the last time you wrote an onboarding email or started with a proposal from scratch or did any process in your business that you do repetitively but not with a template? Surely you could save 15 minutes a day. Get this. You or someone on your team could be saving 5 hours a month. That's right. By just saving 15 minutes a day, 5 days a week, that's 5 hours a month. Take that 5 hours a month and spread that out over a year. That's 60 hours a year by saving just 15 minutes. And when we think about the time investment to create these templates, the return on that investment is Huge. So let's get into all the ways in which you can create templates in your business. So we talked about a few of them in the preceding examples, but let's just cover them all. Onboarding a client, all of the emails, proposals, contracts, checklists to onboard a client. If you're a podcaster or a blogger, do you have show flows or blogging checklists? Do you have show note templates? Do you have social media templates? Meaning you have the basis of what you want to say and you insert the customized content. How about emails? In my business, our weekly emails are templated. And if you're on my email list, you know that there's a rhythm to the weekly emails that we send out, although the middle is very, very customized. How about email autoresponders? All right, I want to go deeper into the email autoresponders for just a moment here because it's one of my favorite ways to use a templated email. Email autoresponders are the emails that get sent to anyone that emails you in your inbox. And oftentimes, this is used in corporate or even in your businesses when it says out of office, gone on vacation, which is completely an okay way to use the autoresponders. But what if you took that autoresponder and made it work for you like an assistant? And you only need to think about it once, and now it's working for you every single time someone emails your inbox. Now, this strategy is a great strategy just for conquering your inbox, which we have a masterclass all about how to conquer your inbox. But this is also a great strategy to ensure that everyone that hits your inbox is being directed where they need to be directed to get the most effective and efficient response from you or your team. So here's what mine says. It says, hello, and thank you so much for reaching out. As I'm sure you know, inboxes can get overloaded. So below you will find the best way to get your questions answered by myself or my team. Number 1, a sweet little message to my current clients, letting them know they're in the right place and I will be getting back to them shortly because they belong in my inbox, right? 2, technical login or billing support. And it's a 2-liner about where to redirect their email, which is someone on my team that handles support that will make sure they get their questions answered so much more quickly than sitting in my inbox. And now, when I get those emails, I don't need to respond to them because I know that the people that showed up in my inbox have been redirected to the exact right place they need to go. Number 3, work with me one-on-one. So this is someone that jumped in my inbox and may have questions or not sure about next steps or inquiring about working with me one-on-one. It's a few sentences, but essentially it's redirecting them to my Work With Me page. Because on my Work With Me page on my website, it tells them the exact next steps it takes to get on a discovery call with me to answer all their questions and to see if working with me one-on-one is a fit. Now, that saves me from writing that email over and over when someone shows up in my inbox inquiring about working with me one-on-one. Number 4, learn with me. Maybe they got in my inbox and they want to find out how they can take one of my programs, masterclasses, courses. And in that case, we have a few sentences that redirects them to the training page on my website, which showcases all of the offers and gives them next steps on how to get access. Number 5, collaboration and interview requests. I get quite a few of these, and it does take some time to sift through them and respond to them all. That is not my responsibility. It is my assistant's responsibility to handle collaboration and interview requests. So there's a few sentences outlined telling them where to redirect their questions, what needs to be included in that email for consideration, and really redirecting them with simple next steps. Number 6 is I got a lot of podcast pitches, a lot, right? And so if I took the time to respond to every single one of them, redirecting them to where they belong, I'm losing minutes every single day. So if it's a podcast pitch, it redirects them to a page to submit an application on my website and lets them know that we will be in touch when we have found that their topic or pitch is valuable for our listeners of Productivity Straight Talk. And then lastly, number 7. Okay, so this is my own very unique one that I added sometime after I started using my autoresponder. And I added this because, unfortunately, people found it okay to jump in my personal inbox and share with me some of their grievances about my free emails, or I said a word wrong, or they disagreed with something in my email. That is completely okay, and I want to hear it. But I don't owe every single person a response. So number 7 gave me the permission to respond when I feel like I'm inspired to respond, and permission not to respond when I don't want to. And it says, number 7, got beef with my freebies? I put my heart and passion into everything I create. However, I realize my style is not for everyone. If you're not finding joy and value in the free resources I provide, feel free to unsubscribe at the bottom of the original email sent. This was really liberating and saves me not just time, but worth saying, energy. The energy of thinking about how do I respond and not letting an email critiquing a freebie or an email or a podcast episode to hijack my day and my energy and my attention. By just a couple sentences in this autoresponder gave me permission to hit delete and proceed on with my day. And then lastly, it just ties up and says, do these not apply to you? And if you're just stopping in to say hello, please know that I will respond shortly. That is the power of thinking about what you are going to say and to who you're going to say it to. I saved so much time in my inbox. I've leveled up the customer service of anyone that shows up in my inbox because it clearly tells them how to get their whatever they jumped in my inbox for addressed quicker and faster. And I wanted to share that with you because I wanted to inspire you to think about all the ways in which, if you give a little thought beforehand, create a template and use it, how it can be giving you residual time back over and over and over again. All right, back to my examples. How about graphics for your social media? This allows my team to create social media images quicker and faster, and then the benefit is that the social media is all on brand. How about contracts or proposals for your clients? What I would love for you to do is think about what would be included in a proposal. All the things, all of the services or offerings. I want you to think of if someone bought everything from you that you provide, I want that to be in your proposal so that you've given it good thought and you've thought about the words and you've thought about the pricing and you've thought about the invoicing and you've thought about all of the things that could possibly happen inside a proposal or contract. And then the magic is that when you have a client that only uses part of your services or some of your services, you still use the same proposal. You delete out the parts that are not needed, and you have a fully thought out proposal. This can save you so much time because my guess is an educated guess because I've talked to so many people, is that every time you have a proposal or maybe even a contract, you're trying to go back and find one that is similar to what your current proposal needs to be. So you're looking for a proposal that you've done in the last year or 2 years for a client, and you're going to use that as your basis to start. The issue with that is it's very time consuming to go back and think about all the proposals and which one is in most alignment. And it doesn't give you the ability to really think about any edits or upgrades since you had done that previous proposal. So when you start with one proposal that includes all the things, it's so much easier to go back and update the consistencies from proposal to proposal and then delete out the sections that are not needed for that specific proposal. It's always going to be faster to delete than it is to add sections. So if your proposal is 12 pages, when you're done, maybe it ends up being 8 pages. But for the client that said yes to all the things, it is the 12 pages because you've used every single section of your proposal. All right, now that little tip of deleting and not adding to any template is a huge time saver. The same thing can be true for emails. So if you have some variances in maybe the middle paragraphs of an onboarding email, I want you to write the email, the intro, the outro, and then every paragraph variance for onboarding. And then when you go to send the email, you delete the 2 other paragraphs and keep the 1 paragraph that's relevant to that client. So now you have a template that has all the versions and variations to it. And again, you delete, you do not add to the template. All right, we'll get to the customization and the power of that in a moment, but I just wanted to give that to you because that example was so forefront of my mind because I just recently had a client that was using multiple proposals as a basis, and it wasn't creating consistency for her clients across the board. And when and if she ever had any updates, she was updating multiple different versions of a proposal. So my advice to her was to consolidate it all in one place so that updates just need to be made in one place. How about a template for taking client notes? All right, so this is one that I recently used when I brought my executive assistant on board. And this allows me to communicate to her my client notes in a much more effective manner. So I created a document that I print out and I have at my desk, and it has main sections to it that I always took my notes in, but when I was taking the notes handwritten and then putting them in the client file, I knew what I meant because I was the person writing it. But when I decided to delegate all of my client note transcriptions to my executive assistant, I realized I really need an efficient way to capture the notes so that when I tell her them, I do that via Voxer, as I just talk them out. It's in a very organized way, so as she's writing the notes, she is most efficient. So I have a client meeting summary, I have a resource section, I have action items sections, and that's it. Those 3 areas are where I write all my notes. And so now in a coaching session, if we are bopping around in chronological order from talking about a topic, and then I'm telling them we're sending them a resource, and then we talk about another topic, and then an action item comes up, when I repeat these notes to my assistant, I can in summary talk about what we talked about. I can briefly tell her quickly what resources were promised to be provided, and quickly, all at once, document the client's actionables. How about documents? You can be using similar documents over and over again, and are you starting with a blank screen? For us, we have an email template, we have client notes templates. Now, this is where they get documented for the clients. We have launch templates where we answer the same questions every single time we're doing a promotion. So once you've determined that there's something you're doing in your business repetitively, it's worth creating a template to start with and fill it in, like fill in the blanks. And that ensures that you're more consistent and you don't need to think of everything. So imagine all the steps and all the things to think about in a promotion, a new product, a new service, a new offering. If you create a template from the first time you did a promotion, then you'll know exactly what needs to happen next time. And as you're learning things during the promotion, you update the template so that next time you do a promotion, you've already had the thinking behind what is it that needs to happen. Okay, so those were just a few of the examples that I wanted to share with you today on ways in which you can use templates. I've actually created something that you can get your hands on today, and that's called the Fast Response Email Bundle. The Fast Response Email Bundle is my top 12 email templates, and you get them in a Google Doc that you can copy, edit, and make your own. And in that Fast Response Email Bundle, it is only $17. So for $17, you will get versions of Out of Office Reply. I have a couple versions for you, and I even share with you my exact autoresponder that I was referencing earlier in this episode. I have podcast pitch response. How do you respond when you're accepting their pitch? You want to redirect them, get them in and out of your inbox. How about declining an opportunity? How often is someone in your inbox saying, I have this great opportunity, or how about this collaboration? I've created a template for you to start out with. Connecting people, making introductions, follow up after an introduction, setting up a meeting. How about a general thank you email response? Circling back, closing the loop on someone you've connected with. Follow up after a consultation. Client onboarding, next steps. How about requesting payment? There's a few versions of that in there as well. And lastly, I share with you my template for my media kit, along with my media kit that you can use as a reference to create your own media kit. These are templates that I actually use in my business that create time saving for myself and my team. And I wanted to make this available to you so that you could get your hands on it, customize it, and now you're starting out with your own template library to hit the ground running and start saving time. You can grab this Fast Response Email Bundle by going to amberdelagarza.com/email bundle. Again, that's amberdelagarza.com/email bundle. Now, before we close out, I want to share with you some practical strategies and tips on how to actually use templates. And I'm going to touch on them, a few of these areas in which I've already shared with you just naturally through this episode. But number one is templates are supposed to be used as a foundation and ability to be flexible with customization. I often hear people say, I don't want to use a template. It's not always the exact same every time I send it. I get it. I totally understand. In fact, I'm going to tell you, there is no template that we use in our business that is not customized when sent to a client or a prospect or anyone. Templates are meant to be customized. And I hope you hear me say that. I want you to have a good foundation, and it's so much easier, faster, and quicker to customize working from a template than starting from scratch. This next one was something I shared already, but the goal is that the template takes into consideration all the versions in which you would want, and then you delete it back before sending it. Instead of thinking, I need to add to a template, because every time you're adding to a template, that's taking more time than it needs to. So when you create a template, if there's different versions, I want the paragraphs in the different versions identified. And now you know, pick one of these 3 paragraphs to start with, and then customize that if necessary. Another holdback that I hear about using templates is people tend to default to, but there's this exception and it's not really the same and it's a little bit different. Let me tell you, there will always be exceptions to the rule. But I know that if you slow down and look at it, there's more consistency and repetitiveness in your business than you think. And when there are exceptions, it's tweaks, it's customization. It's not throwing it all out and saying that email or that template can't help me at all. It will actually help you identify that there is an exception. You use the template as a launching off point, and then you you go from there. So don't use everything is different in my business. No transaction's the same. No client is the same. No offer is the same. Like fill in the blanks. That is just not true. Lastly, here are my top 3 tech tools to use for templates. Number 1, I utilize a program called TextExpander. TextExpander is for Mac and PC, and you load it to your computer. It's really, really inexpensive. I think it's $3 a month, I believe. I mean, really inexpensive. And you can create templates, email templates, sign-off templates. Actually, you should really look into TextExpander because there's a lot of ways in which you can save time anywhere you type. But with TextExpander, you can type in 3 letters, your own made-up code, and it can auto-fill in an entire email template in anything that you're using, whether that's Gmail or Outlook or even some online document. The next one is if you are a Gmail user, there are things called Gmail templates. So Google that, say Google Gmail templates, and it'll give you step-by-step instructions how to set up your email templates inside Gmail. Another tool that we use inside our business here is the template gallery inside Google Docs. And if you're not aware of that feature and you use Google Docs, just Google template gallery and you'll get step-by-step instructions on how to set up documents that you use over and over again as a template. So just to recap with you today, I covered why you should be using templates, all the benefits, all the time-saving benefits. 2, what they are. 3, how to use them. With these 3 areas covered today, I hope that I have empowered you, I've simplified, I've excited you into creating your own templates to save time. And as a reminder, if with templates you can save 15 minutes a day, even if it's not your own 15 minutes, but someone on your team, what better use of their time and your time would be spent with that 5 hours a month? What could you do with 60 hours a year? That's practically taking a week and a half off vacation by simply implementing templates and saving 15 minutes a day. Now, as a reminder, if you want to get started with your own templates and see what I have for you, you can grab the Fast Response Email Bundle by going to amberdelagarza.com/email bundle. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Productivity Straight Talk. And I sure hope you found today's episode about templates to be incredibly valuable and inspire you to taking action. No change, no change. Without taking action, nothing will change for you or your business. So what action are you going to take? Is there a template that you can create right now? Just one. Don't start big. Don't think you need to overhaul your entire back end. Start with one email that you send frequently. Or perhaps you start with your autoresponder on setting expectations and clearing out the clutter in your inbox. Start somewhere. Start small. Perhaps you will be best served to start with my Fast Response Email Bundle. Wherever you decide to start today. And for those of you with a team, it doesn't need to be just you starting. You can ask someone on your team to start with documenting the things that they do repetitively, the emails, the contracts, the documents. Ask them at your next meeting and say, are you working off of a template? Is there somewhere in your processes that a template would serve you? And ask them to create it. All right, so that's my straight talk for you today. Until next time, have a productive week.